Eshu and the Two Farmers. Once there were two farmers who were the best of friends. Wherever they went, they dressed alike, and their fields adjoined each other, separated only by a path. Each morning, Eshu walked this path wearing a black cap. But one morning, Eshu decided to play a trick on the friends. First, he made himself a cap of 4 colored cloths, black, white, red, and green, that appeared as a cap of a single color, depending on the side from which it was viewed. He donned this hat, then took his pipe and stuck it not in his mouth as usual, but at the nape of his neck, as if he were smoking from the back of his head. His staff, which he usually carried over his chest, he now slung over his shoulder from behind. Then he took off down the path, separating the two friends, bidding each of them a good morning, which they returned in kind. On their way home, the farmers commented on the old man walking through the fields that day. "It was strange that he walked in a direction opposite to his normal route," said one. "I could tell from watching his pipe and staff, and he had a white cap on instead of his normal black cap." "Are you blind, man?" retorted the other. "He had a red hat on, and walked in the direction he always walks." "You must have drunk wine this morning, my friend," came the first reply, "and it's dulled your senses." "Be off with you," snorted the other. "You're making up lies to annoy me." "You're the liar, not I," cried the first. Then one of his men went for his knife and slashed the other about the head. But the other man also drew his knife and wounded his assailant. Now both men ran bleeding into town, each pleading his case to the townspeople that the other was a liar. In the meantime, Eshu went to the court of the local king who would adjudicate between these two aggrieved parties. When the two friends appeared, the king asked, "Well, what made you two best friends fall out?" "We could not agree about who went through our fields this morning," said one. "Normally this man wears a black hat and always travels in the same direction," he continued. "But today he wore a white hat and walked in the opposite direction." "Liar! Liar!" shouted the other man. "It was plain to see the old man had on a red hat today and traveled in his usual direction." "Wait just a minute," interjected the king. "Who knows this old man?" "It was I!" Eshu blurted out, to the astonishment of all. He pulled out his hat and said, "Today I put on this hat, which is red on one side, white on the other, green in the front, black behind. Then I stuck my pipe in the nape of my neck and my staff on my back. When I walked, it looked like I was traveling in one direction if you followed my feet, and quite the other direction if you followed my pipe and staff." These two friends couldn't help themselves. I made them quarrel. Sowing discord is my greatest delight.